So I went from holding one contract with one county to every state I was working with the tourism and EDA and putting on events. These are contracts I don't have to bid on because they're local. It's all about relationship. And then once you open your mouth, people want to help you. When people tell me they want to work with DOD, I look at them crazy. Local and state is 10 times easier than federal. The lower you get, the better chance you get. I don't have to pay taxes because I'm not physically there.
We have the GOAT in state government contracting. And we've actually met in person too.
Yes, we have.
Bro. Yes. I'm so excited to have you here. Welcome.
I'm so excited to connect with you. I feel like it's been a minute, but I love everything about you. And so I'm super excited to be here.
And I love everything about you. I had the pleasure of speaking at one of her events, and what was so great was hearing all the testimonies. Hey, I was working. I ended up landing this $1 million contract with the state. I had to relocate. I was like, what? It was seriously like story after story after story. And this is a space that I rarely discuss. And I don't think I've ever interviewed anyone who is the GOAT in this space. So how did you even get into contracting with different state and local governments?
So we have a military background, as you can see.
Yes.
And similar to one of your stories, I was contracting with the government on a local level. And for the first 5 years, I had no clue who they were. And so it was not until I did a matchmaking event. This was a federal matchmaking event because I'm very nosy. So when I see something online, I sign up for it. And so I was with my Chamber of Commerce. They had this matchmaking event. I signed up for the matchmaking event. And the first 4 people that I met with, it was 5 matchmaking sessions. The first 4 people that I met with, they were like, have you hit $1 million? I'm like, no. They're like, okay, have you done any federal work? I'm like, no. And so every interview, the first 4 was just like, we can't do nothing with you. We can't do nothing with you. So by the time I got to that 5th interview, I was already tired. I was like, what the heck is this? I don't even know what I signed up for. But it was this lady. It was this white lady. And I was kind of telling her I was a little frustrated because I'm like, well, nobody can do anything with me. So she asked me this one question. She said, what have you done? So then I started talking to her about my event planning world and all the stuff I love to do. And I was like, and then one day, this company came in and they partnered with me and they talked to me about this heads and beds. So I said some key words that she automatically knew who I was working with. And it turned out that I was working with the government. So she had this conversation. This was a 10-minute matchmaking session. She said, listen, I need you to look up your contract and see if it's this name, which was a tourism, which was EDA, local agency. And she said, look and see if that's what it said. And that's what it said. She said, listen, I need you to change your tone. I need you to go create a capability statement. I didn't even have a capability statement, Kenzie. I didn't even know what that was. And she was like, and I need you to talk different. Stop telling people you don't have a contract. Stop telling people you haven't worked with the government because you've actually been doing this for 5 years. You just didn't know who you were working with. And that's when I realized that I was working with the government. I had been working with them for 5 years, did not have a clue, and it completely changed my life.
Wow. I'm just like, whoa. Isn't it so amazing how one person can have such a huge impact on us?
One person. And I tell people this story all the time because I'm like, none of the other 4 took the time to get to know me. And she can tell the frustration, which is kind of like us because we both mentor. And you know how we meet these people and we're like, oh, they've been hurt. Or, oh, they need help. Or, oh, they've been scammed. And it's like, we want to hold them like they're our babies. And I felt like that's what she did with me. She took the time to ask me questions. She took the time to educate me. And then she took the time to give me steps to make me one of the most powerful women in the world now.
Yes. Yeah.
So took that one person to change your life.
Which is so amazing. And then what did you do from there?
So from there, I'm a researcher, right? I hate school, but I love researching. And so there was like keywords that she gave me. When she told me capability statement, I immediately started looking at capability statements. And then after that matchmaking event, I connected with the host and I'm like, hey, I'm an event planner. I just got educated. And testimonials are the best. Okay. I went from the first the first 4, we had to come back to the big group and everybody was talking about their wins. So they were like, I just won a contract. And I kept thinking like, well, how everybody else winning and not me? But when we came back that 5th time, I was able to tell my story and they were so impressed. So they were willing to help me. And so that's another thing about us is that we got to get comfortable with speaking up. Had I not used my voice and told what had just happened, I gave them a testimonial. That's all I did was just share what just happened to me from that event. And so from there, they kind of gave me, here's some homework assignments, connect with the SBA. That's how I was introduced with the SBA. I had been a small business owner, but I didn't even know the SBA even existed. And so it was just those little pieces of the puzzle that I needed connected with. And then after that, it was all gas, no brakes. we're military family. We're going to all these states, all these counties, all these cities. And so I repeat the process everywhere that I went. So I went from holding one contract with one county to every state my husband and I visited. I was working with the tourism, an EDA, and putting on events and bringing celebrities and putting heads in beds and all the terminology that I learned so that I can speak their language, we can connect, and I can get a contract. And these are contracts I don't have to bid on because they're local contracts. It's all about relationships. And so it changed the game for me. And but I always tell people the way that I got into government contracting was rare. It was different. And a lot of people don't focus on local and state. Local and state is 10 times easier than federal. Federal, you're playing with the big boys. There's more rules, there's more regulations. Now granted, there's more laws to protect you. The states get to do what they want. Okay, they make their own rules and they do what they want. However, if I'm working with the county and this county tells 3 other counties about me, now I have 4 contracts and I didn't have to work hard from them. I got those contracts based off of my skills and them seeing me in action relationships.
I love that because for some of us may have been taught like, oh, you don't speak up. If you share your wins, you sound like you're bragging. And in the business world, you have to. If you don't speak up and share, then how would they have ever known? And then it's a testament to the power of referral because these state and locals, they have jobs, they have things that they have to do. The last thing they want to do is read a proposal. And especially because some of those proposals, y'all got to mail them in.
Right?
Oh, goodness.
Mail them in, and the person that put the proposal together don't have a clue. So it's always me trying to teach them, have you thought about doing this or doing it this way? Because they really don't know. They're just doing a job. And that's another thing. They're humans like us. The procurement officers, the cores, the contract specialists, they're humans just like us. And a lot of times they don't even know.
Yeah, they don't. And there may be someone watching right now that's thinking, well, wait a minute, hold on. So I can bid on work in other states, cities, counties. I don't have to live there. Do I have to be registered there?
Nope. So one of the new things that I've seen over the last 2 years is some contracts, if you are working and actually there on site, they want you to register as a vendor. But they're going to ask you some questions, say, hey, is your staff coming? Are you planning to physically be here? How many hours are you going to be here? Majority of the time, 9 times out of 10, they're going to tell you, you don't need to register as a vendor because I don't have to pay taxes because I'm not physically there. And so it depends. Local is different. State is different. Every contract is going to tell you whether you need to be a vendor or not. And majority of the contracts will tell you to get a business license. But when you contact them to get a business license, they're then going to ask you those questions. And once you say, no, I'm not planning to be there, then you don't have to get a business license.
Oh, I love that. There's 50 states.
Right. Many counties, many cities, and each one of them is different. So I always tell people when it comes to local, you have to know the agency. Remember, I was working with them and I did not know they were an agency because think about it, Kenzie, you're in this world. They don't walk around and say, I'm a government agency. They don't do that. That stuff is discreet. Okay. You got to know somebody that knows somebody to identify who they are because you're dealing with people. And you don't pay attention to those signatures, and who they say they are. You don't pay attention to that stuff because we're constantly moving and going. Now, on the state side, you're talking about the entire state. So you got one portal, all the contracts is in that one portal, and then you're dealing with all these different people that do things completely differently. When it comes to the state, you will bid, because remember, you're not building relationships. It's not somebody right around the corner from you or in the same office as you. These are not people that are right there with you. And so both of them are a little different. When it comes to the counties, and a lot of people don't understand this, people are always saying, where can I find contracts?
Yes.
It's a plethora of places you can find contracts. If you know the local agencies, you can register directly with them as a vendor and just source contracts for them. You can register directly with the state and source contracts with everybody in that state that's in there. When it comes to DOD, when people tell me they want to work with DOD, I look at them crazy. You know how many branches and pillars are part of DOD? Don't tell me you want to just work with DOD because that's the cool thing to say. Tell me you want to work with the Army. Tell me you want to work with the Navy. Tell me you want to work with a branch in DOD because it's very rare that you're going to be working with the entire DOD. And that's how local and state is. There's so many pillars. There's so many branches. The lower you get, the better chance you get. Because think about it, Dr. Kenzie, you don't do local and state, right? You will never go to a local agency and register directly with them. Instead of you fighting with 5 million You're fighting with 1,000. You're fighting with 50. You're fighting with 25. You're fighting with, they don't have nobody, that they're coming to you to see if you know somebody to help them solve this problem.
Whoa.
That's the difference.
I like that, because I was sharing before we started recording that we subcontract on an opportunity in the state of Florida, but we've only bid on like 2 things and both of them were canceled at the state level. So this is great. I love this because I want us to expand in the state area. I want all of you watching to expand in these areas too, because man, this sounds like the great place to be. Is there a particular like state to focus on, website? Like what are some of the first things to do for someone who's like, I want to sell to the state, local, county, cities?
So I'll share this with you guys. I think out of all of the states, only 2 or 3 states charge for you to register in their state.
Oh.
So people don't know that, I teach my mentees to start with your state first, right? Because here's the thing, all their portals are not created equally. And so if you go and look at Virginia, who has the best portal out there, you will get spoiled. But then you go to Georgia, who is old school. They haven't changed their system in 200 years. You don't know how to work it. So then you get frustrated and you're like, I quit. Instead of you saying, let me go dabble over there to Virginia. Let me see what Coach Brooks them got going on. Let me see how another state look. Now there's pros and cons to it. If you register in 10 states, now that means you got 10 different states sending you opportunities. And now your email is flooded and you're not looking at none of the opportunities because it's just overloaded and you can't keep up with it. So I don't teach people to try to go after all of the state. Create a strategy. Start with your state so you can know if it's good or bad. Then maybe go to another state, 1 or 2 other states. After that, you need to reevaluate because something you're doing is not working, because you can't be in multiple states and you're not hitting anything, And so when it comes to the county, know who you want to work with. The biggest thing is once you know what problem you solve, now you got to figure out who you can solve this problem from. Remember, if it's local, they're at networking events. They are at the chamber events. They are hanging out with the procurement officers there. They're hanging out at the Osdiboo's event. That's how you're going to meet your local people. They're right there that you can reach out and touch. I was at an event on Saturday, being honored. Guess who was there? The DEI officer, procurement officer of the U.S. Department of Labor. I'm like, hey, where are you? Because I know she's local, but don't know where. She's about 40 miles from me. She's like, but I'm here all the time, so we can connect and go to lunch and blah. And she's already emailed me, blah, blah, blah. That's how you meet your local people at community events, supporting something, hanging out with the other heavy hitters in your area. They come out in the community to meet people like us so they can find people they know, like, or trust.
No,
I rather contract with somebody like you that I know versus 50 million opportunities coming in. And I'm like, who are these people? I have no clue who these people are. And another secret that nobody knows. So Friday, I'm in a state program. I love free state programs. So if your community is not dabbling into these state programs that pour into small businesses, they're missing out. They're put on by the state, which means the state is bringing all the heavy hitters to help you grow. Well, on Friday, they brought in 3 procurement officers to talk to us. It was the DMV. It was 2 other major people, right? And so they told us, here's what's coming down the pipeline. Here's what we just gave away. Here's what you can bid on. Here's who you need to be connected with. They gave us everything that we need. They also said, please do not spam us with constant contact emails. We don't check those. Our system is filtered to put them in spam. We never even see them. Instead, build a genuine relationship with me and make your email personable. Don't make it like it's a mass email because it's going in the trash. This is the type of things we learn when we're having those direct connects with these procurement officers and these local people that really want to work with you. They just want to make sure you're doing it the right way.
Man, I'm just like mind blown. I love this because these are things that you can do. Like in all of these states, no matter where you're located, you can go to an event. You can find out about the events. I know in the great state of Florida, where I vote, they have different events. They have a nice website. I'm well aware of what's going on. I get emails. And I love that tip of you don't want to have too many emails because then you're going to get flustered and overwhelmed and you're not going to bid on anything, or there's too many events. But if you are very strategic, and even if you just go to the events within a 60-mile radius, that would be super beneficial.
Well, the thing is that we all know that, this, there are going to be a lot of matchmaking events happening right now. There's going to be opportunities for people to come in. The place I get my most successful events is through PTAC. Because remember, PTAC is going to be right there. The events are going to be right there local to you. And they're bringing people to connect with you. And then I do the SBDC event. although I don't need their help, I need their resources and their connection, And so then when I meet people there, now I'm connecting with other people because, again, it's all about relationships. Hey, have you met Coach Brooks? She does this. Somebody else just needed that. I wish I would have known that you did this because I just gave away 30 contracts in this. It's all about relationships. And then once you open your mouth, people want to help you. If they feel like you're trying, they want to help you. It is when you sit in a corner, you don't talk to anybody, you're not showing up, you're not doing your part, that you're like, that's why I can't win a contract. I can't win a contract because you're not doing your part. You're not showing up.
This is just like so mind-blowing. It's so amazing. It's so inspirational because what are the fundamentals? You just need a business license. You need sole proprietor, LLC, S Corp, whatever, a business license, and be ready to sell.
Yep. You need a business bank account. Have a capability statement because that helps you and them. When people ask you, the biggest thing is that when people ask you who you are and what you do, you're able to articulate it without you sounding like you're all over the place. One of the cool things about me, and I'm just down here in my husband's office, but I have branding material too. So anytime I'm doing anything, I look professional. I get a lot of compliments on the way that my proposals are written. Because on a state and local level, my proposals are written like federal contracts. Because I know the state and local, they're not used to that. I'm giving them things that I know they're going to need that they may not know that they need. And that's the thing that makes me stand out from other people. I'm doing my part to make it easier for them. If they know that you make it easy for them, everybody's going to win.
Yeah.
But if you're making them having to work harder, stay late, double check everything that you're doing, that might not be a win-win.
No. Nobody wants that. It's like you hire somebody to paint your walls and you're like, when are you going to start? It's been 3 weeks. Why are you showing up
through the whole thing? You got to walk them through the whole thing. It's not a win-win.
Oh my goodness. I love this. I love it so much because I'm so inspired by this. I'm so inspired. And, I've come across many who have won state level contracts. And again, it's definitely a space to be in. I suggest you be in both. You may not be at the place where you can do both, but at least try it.
Absolutely.
Definitely try it. And so how can people get in contact with you?
Social media is the best. I put a lot of content online. I do have a mentoring program. And so that's my favorite place, my GovCon mentoring program. But I tell people don't join it if you're not serious. We're going into the use it or lose it. And so right now it's crunch time. Everybody need to be focused, no distractions, and grinding and working. And so social media is probably the best place to reach me. Any platforms, Moneybag623. And yeah, that's it.
And I want to add, she's tons of amazing content, TikTok, Instagram. Yes. She has a stellar event that she puts on regularly, different events that not just events that she's won, but she puts on events because that's what's really important in this space. You want to take in information from people who actually are doing it.
Yes.
Not that they did it unless it's someone who's like, listen, I did it. I sold my business. Now I'm doing something else. That's a little different, but she's doing it. Her events are stellar. So they are. It was amazing. I was so grateful to be there. I mean, I think recently somebody messaged me and was like, I met you at her event. I was like, oh my gosh, that's so crazy.
That's the thing about our community. We are very genuine. And they know I only bring good people to them because I'm very protective because this space has become a bad space. And so when it comes to who I trust in this arena, it's you and Dr. Travis. That's it. Dr. Kinsey, Dr. Travis. That is it. And so it's crazy because they'll never forget you. The impact that you made at the event. I mean, you did something that I had never seen before. You gave all my people a lottery ticket. I haven't even given my people a lottery ticket. Dr. Kinsey, what were you doing? You were supposed to prepare me. And guys, let me tell y'all how cool she is. Before she was getting ready to leave, she was like, take these tickets. I'm like, no, I don't want them. So she was literally trying to give me these tickets today. And I was so dumb. I didn't even take the darn tickets when it was my time to win.
Right.
I was like, I should have took those darn tickets. But that was so cool. They always talk about that every GovCon. And it's like nobody else has ever done that before. SBDA was very impressed. The agencies were there. Hub was that everybody was just so impressed because, again, very intimate, y'all. It's not a conference. It's a summit for a reason. And even the next month, they're not leaving without bidding on a contract. So that's my thing. We're going to have a contractor at every table and we're going to source the contracts with them. And everybody's going to leave the summit with a contract submitted. And nobody else is doing that.
No.
And we focus on branding. So they do photo shoots. interviews, they do video recordings, they did podcasts, they're doing a magazine this time. Like, I am really big on, let me help market you, but also let me help you win a contract. And also let me help you build a relationship so you can form a strong team, because a lot of people don't have people to help support them in this arena. And so that's the biggest thing about the summit, is that it's different, because I live this life. Government contracting changed my life. And so I just want to change other people's lives, you know?
Well, you are doing it with everything that you're doing as a contractor, as a mentor, through your social media, being here on this amazing interview. And I know everyone watching, you can tell, you can feel your genuineness, your passion, your love, and that's why I have you here. So connect with her, follow her, look into her program, because it's all about learning, applying, adjusting, learning, applying, adjusting. The more you do it, the bigger your business is going to be. And soon you're going to be at like 20 million a year, people.
Yes.
It will. There's no reason you can't.
Absolutely. Because guess what? They've been around since the 1800s. They're the only reliable customer that get money every 12 months, and it never stops. They've never not gotten money.
Right.
Why not?
Right. Latasha, I am so grateful to you. And for everyone watching, please like, subscribe, hit that notification button. Check out profitablecontracts.co, profitablecontracts.co. And again, thank you so much. And don't forget, everything is possible. Until next time.